Hello, princesses, and welcome back to Not Fit for Print Beauty with me, Rebecca. Today I am testing out two brand new products, so I'm putting them in one video together. So watch for timestamps. If you're short on time, I'll have plenty of them. Today we are going to look at new product from Mercier. This is the Real Flawless Weightless Perfecting Serum Concealer. And we are also going to be looking at the Lunar New Year collection from MAC. We have eyeshadow and blush. I'm so glad to have you here. Don't forget that you can also follow me over on Instagram, TikTok, and on Threads. Now, as I said, this is a full video with two products I am testing, and we're going to do a wear test on the concealer. So do watch below for any timestamps for those of you who have a specific interest or are short on time. All right, first of all, let's do some information and then we'll cut to the demo. I am currently conducting, as we speak, a wear test on the concealer. So let's talk about it. As I said, this is a mouthful. I have two shades. This is the Mercier Real Flawless Weightless Perfecting Serum Concealer. It is $32 and comes in 22 shades. All information for what I've picked up will be below in the description bar, available for shopping and just for research. I picked up the 3W2, which is kind of a warmer light medium. I wanted to see if it would also maybe do a little bit of color correcting. We'll have to talk about that later in the video. And I also picked up the 3N1, which is a light, medium, neutral, which I thought would do better with the rest of my face. As usual, during the demo, I will not have any primer on. I will put very minimal foundation and no powder because I like to just check the product unadulterated. This is a medium natural finish, says the brand. It is hydrating and waterproof and has what the brand Mercier says is immediate and time-released hydration. It is supposedly firming and smoothing. Now, I like to talk about this on what I call a scale of concealer. I am a journalist, and I've discovered whenever I talk about concealer, you're describing something in words that's really meant to be felt. It's much easier to compare it to other concealers. Generally, people kind of like the same type of feel. So there's two things with the concealer, of course. There's the coverage. Is it light coverage, medium coverage, or super heavy coverage? But there's also the feel of the concealer. They're two different things. Some people like a really heavyweight feel. Others, like me, I don't like that. Cakes on me. What's heavyweight? Well, you know, the Pat McGrath concealer, to me, that's really heavy. We have a Good Apple concealer. Now, these might not be the thickest coverage. I think the Pat McGrath is. The Good Apple isn't really, but they're the thickest feel. Okay, they feel really thick on. And for thin, although probably this Valentino concealer is the thinnest, almost watery, I think it's useless, to be honest with you, but that's just me. But I really like to use the Giorgio Armani Power Fabric as my lightest, easiest to work with. It has medium coverage, but it's so thin and watery almost. It sounds like a negative thing, I don't mean it that way, that you can build and build and build without it caking. So this will be on the lighter side. I'm going to take this Mercier and put it right there with the Giorgio Armani. It is supposed to be medium coverage, but the feel is extremely, extremely lightweight. You cannot tell you have it on, and it spreads by just tapping it. It's just a dream. It is the complete opposite of Pat McGrath, which you have to make sure you use very sparingly and that you really, work it in the right way. This, you can just look at it, the Mercier, and it blends. And I think that's kind of like the Giorgio Armani. In terms of coverage, the brand says it's medium. I say it's light medium, but we are doing a wear test and we'll talk about that one later. Before we go to the demo, we're going to demo both. I also want to talk to you about some new MAC products. It is almost the Lunar New Year. It's going to be the year of the dragon. Do we have any dragons out there? Comment below if you are a dragon. I'm a pig. I know. Okay, so let's take a look at what we have here. This is the Lovestruck Luck collection. What a beautiful collection. Now, this looks like hearts, but it's dragon scales, of course, and lucky red, of course, Lovestruck Luck. This is a $37 limited edition palette, and we have 6 warm-toned eyeshadow shades. Yes, we will swatch these, of course, in 2 different lights, don't you worry. So here it is, the eyeshadow palette, really beautiful. And these shades and textures feel very, very much like the recent releases that we've been seeing from MAC eyeshadow. Really beautiful, really easy to work with. I will show you in the demo coming up. And then we also have 2 blushes. I picked up one of them. I can't buy it all. This is the limited edition Lovestruck Luck Blush. Comes in 2 shades. I picked up the darker one called Power to You. It has the scales. They almost look like little hearts, but they're dragon scales in there. And this is the deeper of the 2. I am wearing it now, but you'll see it exaggerated in the demo. There's also kind of a lighter, peachier shade, but I went with this. I just thought it would look kind of nice with these warm toned eyeshadows. There's also a lipstick and a mascara that I didn't pick up. I can't get everything, but I wanted to get a nice little smattering. Let's go ahead and go to the swatches. First, we have this entire eyeshadow palette, as you'll see it laid out in the pan, and then vertically the blush right next to it. First in studio lighting, take a look at that there. There is that one really useful matte shade, and then those beautiful kind of shimmer satiny shades that are thick, but so workable. They really work into the skin really, really well as you apply them. Let's take these outside into the warm California sunshine. Check out these swatches out there. Oh, they're so pretty. They really are. MAC is back, baby. They were never gone, you say. They probably should not have been gone, but from some people's minds they were. What a shame. Can I guarantee that these limited edition shades are new? No. I looked them up and I couldn't find any in my collection or online, but MAC has such an extensive library that I am not prepared to go on here and say these are all new shades. I just won't do it. MAC has so much inspiration to draw upon from itself. Other brands use MAC as a reference point, you know? So they're new to me. I don't know if they're entirely new, and maybe somebody in our community can comment below if you've seen any of these shades before. Certainly not in this packaging and not in this edited collection. So let's call it that. Okay, what I want to do now is go to the demo. We are going to be demoing 3 different products, the Laura Mercier concealer, and then the blush, number 2, and the eyeshadow from MAC. Again, look for timestamps below. Let's go to the demo. Okay, as you probably know if you've seen any of my concealer videos before, I like to show you what we're working with, and in order to do that, I have to cast all ego aside. Here's me and no ego. Let me show you what we're working with. I have a lot of ruddiness, kind of redness. It's dry and cold, especially around the nose because I have allergies. Some little blemishes here or there because, that darn humanness makes that happen. But worst of all, you guys know what I like to call it. My biggest issue is not bags, but kind of sunken and deep on this side. Both eyes, I call them my dark pits of despair, and they have their own theme song. And there they are, and that's really what I need concealer for the most. I just look really tired lately, probably because, frankly, I'm really tired. We are going to put on very minimal makeup. I will go ahead and use kind of this matching, because I really like it, Laura Mercier foundation. All the information for that, of course, will be down in the description bar. We'll put light on of that, but let's just take these 2 shades I have here and really try to devote this to the concealer. Unadulterated, no primer, very little of this over, no powder, nothing. Let's just let it go on its own. We're going to start here with this 3W2 because it's a bit warmer, so I'm hoping the warmth will also help to color correct the dark pits of despair around my eyes. So we're going to go ahead and try it here, and I'm going to let it kind of just sit there for just a moment, very thin. And then we're going to do one side of the face. I'm going to take the 3N1, which is that light medium neutral shade, and kind of put that on the rest of the face. That's a better match with my skin tone. And also just kind of let that sit for just a moment, and then we'll blend and compare. I think it sat under the eyes enough. Generally, when a concealer is around blemishes more than darkness, but you want to just let it sit and just get, aerate a little bit and get maybe a bit thicker. This is a very thin serum-like consistency with no scent. All right, ignore the polka dots on the rest of my face, please. Did this warmer shade do the trick? What do you think? Here are my dark pits of despair with this slightly warmer new Laura Mercier on it. And here they are without. Certainly it has to be better. I don't know if it's best, but it has to be better. It certainly helped, and it blends like a dream. All right, let's try it here. And this is a Sonia G Fusion brush if you're playing along at home, and I am just kind of gently spreading that on there. This blends like a dream. It kind of blended when I touched it, and that is really, really nice. Okay, let me just get this mirror out of the way here and let you see this half of my face is now completely done just in the concealer, this half with nothing on it. Okay, what I'm going to do now is the other side of the face and a little tiny bit of this Laura Mercier foundation, and then we'll take a look before we give it a wear test and try on our MAC products, so stay right there. Okay, before we dive into these Lunar New Year MAC products, let me show you what we have here. Very, very light application of the Laura Mercier foundation here on the cheeks and on the forehead and a little on the chin. I have left alone the areas with the concealer. What do you think? I have a little bit of lip gloss on. Again, details in the description bar. A little bit of mascara. But I'm showing you those dark pits of despair to see what you think. And after this, we will do a little recap and I'll tell you my thoughts on it. But let's dive right now into the MAC product. Watch, of course, down below for updates on time stamps and such. Okay, let's first try this blush. Now, I don't know, you guys, maybe I'm a little bit crazy. That's the best kind of crazy, right? A little bit crazy, because I got, rather than the peach, I got this one called Power to You, and it is very deep and very dark. Probably a bit too dark for my skin tone, so I'm going to go very gently with a rougher number 5, kind of a nice cross between fluffy and not fluffy. And I'm just going to put a little bit on here on the cheek. I will overdo it a bit for you to see. Okay. Okay. That's it, not overdone. I don't even know if I'll have to overdo it. I could have gotten the peach, but it felt like a cop-out to me. I thought, you know, if you go big or go home, right? Okay. So this is the slightly darker shade. Limited edition, new shades, and I am overdoing it just slightly, not to look clownish, but just to let you really see what the color is. And I think that's really enough for you guys to get the idea. Isn't that a pretty shade, especially with the red lips? And these red, I made a gloss here, details below, with a red Charlotte Tilbury and a Too Faced gloss. So I kind of made my own gloss by mixing it on my hand. Details below. Okay, let's take a look at this MAC eyeshadow, beautiful MAC eyeshadow palette, and these nice, rich, creamy shades. I have a lot of rougher brushes here, and we're going to start with a brush number 1, which is my favorite rougher. And I think we're going to start with this shade right here. And I am just going to go over the eyes with it, including into the center and out. We're going to do a really quick look. If you're new to my channel, I always remind people, so I'm very sorry if you've been here before and know this, but my background is in fashion and beauty journalism. I am not a makeup artist, so I like to try out the shades, but I'm not trying to teach you any artistry. I leave the artistry to you. Let's go into this matte shade here. I have worked with this formula from MAC so much before, and I do love it. And this feels like it is indeed just as reliable. Isn't that pretty? Again, just back into this matte shade. Sorry for any background noise. They are doing some construction in my area. And if I were to wait for them to finish, we would never get anything filmed. The show must go on. Okay, and here we go. And then I'm going to switch brushes to a rougher number 2 MACs and go underneath with that same shade and just kind of smoke it out a little bit. Take that number 2 and let's go flip over that number 2 MACs and go into this kind of green dragony shade and put that on the mobile lid. Looking good. And these shades are performing exactly as I thought and hoped that they would. Oh wow, that is super, super pretty. And of course this red shade here, again, same brush, no need to make brush laundry. Here on the edges. Wow. I am loving that, absolutely loving that. And I like that matte that just really works in well with everything. And let's just put a little bit of this here. Just kind of, again, same brush. You guys, there's no need to make things more difficult than they need to be. Just right there into the middle of the lid. What do you think? Beautiful. Okay, so I can't guarantee that they're all new shades. I would never take on MAC about that. Their catalog is so huge. But if you love this beautiful case, if you love working with these MAC shades that we've seen from MAC, especially in the past few seasons, you will be so pleased. And I gotta tell you, I'm really happy I went with this more forceful blush. If you have a deeper skin tone, it will be so impactful and beautiful on you. And if you have, I have light medium, but if you have anywhere light to medium, just use a fluffy blush. And I think that, and I think that is super, super pretty. We are gonna come back in a few hours and take a look at how all of this has lasted and discuss the Laura Mercier concealer. I want to give it a little bit longer of a wear test. Stay right there. Okay, it has been 6 hours. I did reapply the lip gloss. MAC makeup is holding up great, didn't touch it up. Let's talk about our other product that we reviewed, our Laura Mercier concealer now. Underneath the eyes, it has been a few hours. I didn't powder or do anything. Certainly it would benefit from powder. Certainly. It does need that. In terms of the darkness, I think it is lighter than some, than if I didn't use any concealer, but I think it could probably be a little bit better coverage. Let me see on the rest of the face. I think it's doing quite well on the rest of the face. I made sure not to apply any foundation around here so we would know if it was the concealer, and it's not going into lines. It is super, super easy to use. This would be, let's talk about whether or not you should buy it. The MAC, yeah, if you love MAC, you'll be so thrilled. Laura Mercier, this is extremely thin but light medium coverage. So again, we have a difference between the feel and the coverage. So we have a light medium coverage and a very light, gentle application. This would be beautiful if you like to use a color corrector. If I had color corrected first, favorite color corrector, I love NARS. I really, really love the Tarte color corrector. It is my absolute favorite, but there are so many other good ones out there, Bobbi Brown and so many others. If you color correct with maybe like an orange-based color corrector and then put even your skin tone, I bought a warmer shade to see if it would color correct. It doesn't really. But if this went over a color corrector, it would blend so seamlessly and so beautifully without caking up. This is extremely moisturizing. It is not caking. It is not settling into lines. So to me, an ideal last step to cover up the orangeness, or even if you're covering up redness and you have maybe a green-based color corrector, this would cover that up beautifully. Add that really polished look, moisturize, not go into lines and not cake up if you're building up product. And that's what I will use it for. On its own, I think it's lovely over redness, but not so great if you have any dark pits of despair. It's not bad, but it's not great. What is good about it is the moisturization and the blendability, like a dream, and works really well. I mean, it's just so lightweight and beautiful, but it's very light medium coverage, not so much medium, and a very light, gentle consistency on that side of the spectrum. Now, here's why we are a community. This is where you come in. Ask me any questions that you have amassed, of course. Let me know if you need this MAC swatched, or if you need the Laura Mercier swatched next to a comparable. I do that over on Instagram. Just let me know your name over on Instagram so I can tag you, or send me a DM, or ask me over on Instagram. And I am incredibly happy to do that for you. Like I said, that's what makes us a community. Make sure that you share this video and like it, and of course subscribe. And I look forward to seeing you all in the next video. Bye-bye.